Hey guys, Know Me More here, and today I am doing a DIY home lash lift. So what that means is I'm going to be perming my lashes and tinting them at the same time. I've already done this eye right here, but I haven't done this eye. This is the eye I'm going to be doing for you today. So you can see that the lashes are curled, they're darker, and they look more like eyelashes against my eyelid because they're coming up rather than my natural lashes that they just tend to sort of go straight out. So if you guys want to see how I did this today, stick around and let's do some makeup. All right, guys, welcome back. So for today, what we're going to need are a few things. We're going to need a lash lift perming kit. This particular one that I got is Tetyana Lash Lift Enhanced Beauty. I got it off of Amazon. Now, as a lot of you may know, I am a professional cosmetologist and I do work as a color specialist behind the chair, but this is not a service that I provide, although my license covers it. I am doing this as a consumer. I ordered products offline or online that any of you can order. So this is not me being a professional lash artist telling you how to do your lashes. And this is not sponsored by any of the products that I'm using. It's just that we are in such a funky time right now, and I know that people are kind of going crazy because we're out of our routines. We can't do what we want to do. We look in the mirror and we start seeing changes that we haven't seen before because we can't maintain our own personal aesthetics. So this is just something that helps me, and hopefully it will help you from one person to another. The other thing that you're going to need are some little spoolie mascara wands, which you can also get online, and I'll put the links for everything in the description box down below. You're also going to need some Q-tips. If you have it, a little Dampen dish to mix your tint in. You're going to need some Aquaphor or Vaseline. You're going to need some eye drops. And you're also going to need your eyelash tint. Now, I have ordered the Refectocil vegetable dye in blue black, and I got their cream developer instead of their liquid developer because the cream is a little bit easier to measure and mix, and it does create a creamier tint, which I think helps to stick to the lashes better. The other thing you're going to need is an Orangewood Stick. And then everything else is just going to come from your kit. And when you open up your kit, these are all the same depending on brand, maybe just a few subtle differences here and there. But I mean, a perm is a perm, so you're going to have to use the same products for everything. And what you're going to get is you're going to get a glue to use to adhere the iPads and to your skin, and then the eyelashes to the iPad. You're gonna get your, this is your perming lotion, and then this is your setting lotion or fixing lotion. You're gonna have a nutrition oil that you're gonna use at the very end to seal everything in and rehydrate the lashes. And then you've got a cleanser that you're going to use to rid the skin of debris so that the pads can stick better to your eyelids, and then also to remove the pads afterwards. You're going to get the Perm Kit Eyelash Lift Pads, and that is these guys right here. This particular kit comes with a small, medium 1, a medium 2, and a large 5. I have pretty small eyes and my eyelashes are pretty short, so I actually use the small. The best way to know which one works best for you is to measure your eyelashes against the pad. So on the pad, you see you've got these sort of ridged pieces, and then there's a line, and then there's the curved pad. This is the pad that your eyelashes are going to go over. So you don't want your eyelashes to be longer than this and head up into this area. Otherwise, you're going to get like a little fish hook at the end. So just make sure that you choose a pad that's long enough for all of your eyelashes to rest on. The last thing that's going to come in the kit, this is going to be, they call it a cleaning tool. It's not really a cleaning tool. It's this little Y guy right here, and it's got like a little comb right here, and it's to help to put the lashes onto the pad and get them to stick, and the comb helps to straighten them out. It's not my first tool of choice, but I have it handy because I do like that little comb on there. That's what I use the Orangewood Stick for. I use the Orangewood Stick to lay the lashes down, and I also use it to continue to hold the lashes down, because during the process, as you re-wet the lashes, it kind of breaks down the glue a little bit. And this is a good way to keep the lashes pressed into the product without using something absorbent like a Q-tip that would absorb the product, or something like this that would be scraping the product off of the lashes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I do want to say that this is not an easy process. This is not like a quick home tip or trick to do great eyeliner. This is something that does take a minute to learn how to do. You have to give yourself plenty of time to just relax and be patient with the process. I will walk you through the whole process today, but this is for people that really have suffer because their eyelash extensions are falling out. And I imagine that if you do wear eyelash extensions, you feel quite naked without them. So this isn't going to be a full gown, but it'll at least put a bra and panties on you. So we're going to start with the Aquaphor, and we're going to put that underneath the eye. And this is just going to be a little extra protection so that if there's any little spots of tint while we're working that flick onto the lower under eye area, this will keep that from staining. I also like to just real gently hit my lower lashes to give them a little bit more definition. And that also helps to protect the skin too as I'm applying it. The next thing, pardon me, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our, a Q-tip, and we're going to take our cleanser, and we're just going to very lightly clean the eyelid to remove any sort of dirt, oil, or makeup residue so that the iPad can really stick to the eyelid. And then we'll give that a second to dry. And while we're doing that, we're going to prep the iPad. So we're going to take our glue from our kit, and we're going to paint onto the back side, the smooth back side of the pad, of the eyelash pad. We're not really going to paint these little ridges because those aren't meant to stick onto the skin, just this part. So we're going to paint this, and then we're just going to give it a second to get tacky while the cleanser finishes drying on my upper lid. Now, if you want, you can grab a pair of tweezers to help you apply the pad, but depending on how good you are, sometimes I find the tweezers can be a little bit more, I don't know, dexterous in use. I don't know, but sometimes it creates a little bit more of a problem. But I'd say just do whatever you're most comfortable with, and do whatever gives you the result that you're looking for with the least amount of effort. So it feels dry. This is tacky. Now this process takes a minute, so you guys have to be patient with this, but you're going to apply the pad as close to your lash line as possible without actually going below the lash line, because you don't want to have to make your lashes work to get over the pad. So if it's too far down, you're going to create, your eyelashes are going to have to go down around the bottom of the pad and then back up onto the pad, which is actually going to make your lashes look shorter. So you want to make sure that you're going just to the lash bed and that you're not going down below it into the lashes. And then once you've got the pad on, you're going to hold it for about 20 seconds to make sure that the glue has plenty of time to adhere to your eyelid so that the pad doesn't lift or shift during the process, which is important because if it does, then it's going to mess up your application. And you might run the risk of getting some of the product in your eye, which I don't think is going to make you go blind, but you would have to take everything off, thoroughly flush your eyes, and then start the whole process over again. And after something like that, I don't think I'd have the energy or the desire to want to keep going. So I say take your time, be patient, let the products do the job that they're supposed to do, and I think that you'll get a really good result. Next, this is going to be the most tedious part of this process, is getting the lashes to actually stick to the pad. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our adhesive and we're going to paint this onto the top of the pad, just like we did when we were trying to get it to adhere, which it didn't do very well, to the eyelid. So we're going to put a little bit more glue on the underside while we're putting it on the top side. And then I want to use my Orangewood Stick and push this back down onto the eyelid to get it to re-seal. So in situations like this is where I say you just got to be patient, because you're working with a contoured surface and you're working with a surface that moves a lot. So you've got to go into this process with a little bit of patience. Don't get frustrated, and just keep doing what you need to keep doing until you get the result that you want. So while I'm working this pad down onto my eyelid, the application on the top of the eye pad is getting a little tacky, which is going to make it easier for me to then brush my lashes up into it. And I'm going to do that with the Orangewood Stick. And I'm just going to start brushing them up onto the adhesive. And this is going to take a minute, because you've just got to keep working the eyelashes onto the pad. And they're going to keep falling off, and you're just going to have to keep doing it until the glue gets sticky enough. And if you need more glue, go ahead and apply more glue. But this is the most frustrating part of the process for me. So it just takes so long, and it's like you're pushing the eyelashes into the glue. Why aren't they sticking? You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I think that's just part of the process. And then once they start sticking, don't stop. Keep going, because it's going to take them a while for the glue to actually set sticky enough. And what I do is I roll the Orangewood Stick up. I'm not just scraping the eyelashes, because I also don't want to scrape all the glue up the pad where it's not going to really do me any good. So I'm just rolling the Orangewood Stick up the pad to get the lashes to stick. And this takes a while. So at some point I may just skip to when this process is finally done to save some time. But if I do that, just know that this is all I'm doing to get the lashes to stick. I'm just gently and consistently pressing the lashes into the glue as it's setting and getting tacky. Your lashes will continue to pop up during this process, so don't get frustrated, because I did, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? Nothing. It's just a really time-consuming process, which is why I do think this is something that is best left to the professionals. But we are in very strange times, and sometimes we just got to do what we got to do. But I think that it's better for us to do what we can with what we have available, rather than trying to run to the back door of a hair salon or the black market on the internet and purchasing product that really is best left in the hands of the professionals. But like I said, this is me, one consumer to another, using products that I purchased for consumers online. These seem to be pretty well stuck at this point. And also turn to the side, because if you turn to the side, you can see if any lashes are popping out that you can't see if you're looking straight on. And these look really good. So I'm just going to give these a quick minute to kind of re-stick, but I'm keeping my Orangewood Stick handy because I'm going to need it again to keep pressing the lashes down onto the pad. Next, we're going to go in with the perming solution, and I'm going to take a Q-tip, and I'm just going to dip the Q-tip into the solution. And we're going to gently paint, but really just press this into the lashes. And this is where, again, it can get a little frustrating because we're wetting the lashes and that's going to disrupt the bond of the glue. So I really just like to, I don't like to move it around too much. I just kind of like to sit it and press it into the eyelashes. And then we're just going to let it process for, it's 8 to 12 minutes. And I like to do the least amount of time possible. Leaving it on longer won't give you a better result. It's just, you will always get the same result. But if your lashes are finer, it will take less time to get to that result, versus if your lashes are coarser or thicker, it might take more time. But you're not going to get a soft curl at 8 minutes and an extreme curl at 12 minutes. That I do believe. So I'm going to set my timer for 8 minutes. As this is processing, I've got my Orangewood stick, and anything that pops up, I'm just going to gently be pressing it down. I'm not scraping it because I don't want to scrape the product off the eyelashes, but I'm using this to just gently press and roll those lashes into the product so that they stay up. Because if this process, during this process, if your lashes pop down and they go straight, you're not going to get the curl. So sit tight, hang tight. I will be right back in 8 minutes. Okay guys, it's been 8 minutes and I have just been gently making sure that my lashes adhere to the pad. And if needed, I have a little extra solution that I've been putting onto the eyelashes just to help stick them down to the glue and to also make sure that I'm not removing too much of the product while I'm ensuring that they adhere to the pads. So the next step is we want to take a clean Q-tip and we're going to wipe the product off, but we're going to roll the Q-tip up towards the eyebrow so that we're moving the product away from the eye. Then we're going to go into our fixing solution and we're going to apply that right on top of the remaining, like whatever we didn't get off. We're going to apply that right on top. Now I've also found that with this fixing solution, this really kind of makes the lashes want to pop up. So I think it's a wetter product and it encourages the lashes to break free from the glue a little bit more. So it's going to be the same process that I did for the fixing, or sorry, the perming lotion. And I'm just going to let it process. This again, 8 to 12 minutes. I do 8 minutes. It's what I did on this eye and I really like it. Because you don't want them to just stand straight up because that doesn't look natural. So you want a little bit of a bend and a curve, not a bend and a snap up. And so another 8 minutes, I'm going to keep the residual on this handy. I've got my Orangewood stick. And again, if I see lashes pop up, I'm just going to gently press and roll them back down onto the pad. And it's a continuous process, but don't get frustrated with it because this is how the process works. And this is what produces the really nice, beautiful lifted look that lasts for 2 months. So I'm going to keep working on this. I will be back in 8 minutes. I am back. It's been 8 minutes. I've just gently been coaxing the lashes onto the pad. And now what we need to do is we're going to remove any excess finishing lotion or fixing lotion from the lashes. And then we're going to mix up our tint. So I have my Dampen dish and I've got my Refectocil blue black color, and I'm just going to put a spot of that in there. It's maybe about a 1/4 inch strip, and then I'm taking my cream developer and I'm eyeballing equal parts of that. And then we're going to mix that up and apply that directly to our lashes. And I'm mixing that up. You can use your Orangewood stick to mix this up. You could use the little mascara spoolie that I had mentioned earlier to mix that up with. And then once you've got the developer mixed in with the color, it will be one consistent looking mass of color. There's not going to be any streaks or white spots or anything like that. It's just going to look like a solid black tint. Next, I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm just going to load the tint up on the Q-tip and then paint this onto my lashes on the pad. And again, it's really more of a tapping motion and pressing the color into the lashes. You don't want to do too much of this or too much of this, because then you run the risk of moving the lashes off of a surface that is already it's already got a little bit of a weakened adhesion. So you don't want to go up past the pad because you don't want to get stains on your eyelid, but you want to make sure that you're getting enough color to tint the lashes from as close to the lash bed without touching your skin through the ends of the lashes. And then once that's on there, I just take my Q-tip and sort of re-sculpt it so it's a little bit more narrow, making sure I still have product on it. And then this is where the Aquaphor comes into play. I take this and I just dust the lashes, almost as if I'm putting mascara on, very, very lightly and intentional, because I don't want to rush it and then hit my skin underneath and get a big blob of hair tint on there. I mean, if I do, I have the Aquaphor, but Aquaphor isn't a fail-safe. It's just a protective measure. And then the tint is going to process. The blue-black process is for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to sit still. I'm going to keep my Q-tip with the black tint on there. And as my lashes might start to pop up, I'm just going to press them down with this to keep them saturated in the color for the next 10 minutes. Hang tight. I'll be right back. My 10-minute timer just went off. I've been using the Q-tip with the color on it just to keep gently pushing and rolling my eyelashes into the tint, because the tint, it's heavy and this is the third process, and so the adhesive is getting quite weak at this point. But we are ready to take it off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the clean end of our Q-tip and we're going to wipe off all of the excess color from the lashes and the pad that we can get. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean. We just want to get the bulk of it off. And then we're going to grab a fresh Q-tip and we're going to go into our nutrition oil and we're going to dip our Q-tip into the nutrition oil and we're going to use that to finish cleaning the tint off of the lashes. And at the same time, this is going to be conditioning and rehydrating the lashes. And then we'll let that sit on there for a second. And while that does that, we're going to pull out the cleansing solution that we used at the very beginning to prep the eyelid. And we're going to dip the other end of our Q-tip in the cleansing oil. And then we're going to come in underneath the pad and we're going to just gently swipe the Q-tip under the pad to loosen up the adhesive and remove the pad. Now don't throw that out. You're going to want to reuse that. So you're just going to wash that when you're done. And then I've got some eyelid wipes here that I just picked up from CVS. I like these because I feel like I can really get into the nooks and the crannies because they're textured, and it just really removes any excess tint. So we're going to take off the Aquaphor, and then we can't forget that we also have some of the tint on the bottom lashes, so we're going to get rid of that. And then we're just going to come in and remove all of this, keeping the eye tight because you don't squint so that your lashes roll up into your eyelids, because then you won't get to them. But just make sure that you don't allow the motion of you cleansing your eye to open up your eye and force some of that product in that you're removing. And there is some that comes off. I mean, it's not as much as when we were first removing it, but you know, better safe than sorry. And what's worth doing is worth doing right. So go ahead and we'll clean off that. Make sure we get all the tint off. There isn't anything more on my pad. And then I'm just going to take a clean tissue and I'm just going to dry the lashes. They're going to be wet for a while, and when they're wet, they're not going to be as curly because they've got the weight of the water in them, but then as they dry, they continue to pop up. But you can already see lashes that before were just going straight out, definitely not matching this side. So I'm just giving those a quick little dry. I'm not rubbing my eyelids too much because I don't want to irritate the skin on the eyelids. I'm just really kind of blinking and pressing on the eyelashes. And then take your little spoolie and then just start brushing the eyelashes up. And this is going to, again, this will help dry them a little bit. And it's also going to put them in the position that you want them to. And then once you're done with this whole process, try not to get your eyelashes wet for 24 hours. If you get it wet, it's not that you'll lose it immediately, but the effects won't last as long. And for the lash perming, the recommended maintenance is every 2 months. And there we go. So that is my DIY home lash lift with tint technique, utilizing the Tetyana Naturals lash lift and the Refectocil veggie dye. And I do this about every 2 months, and it's nice. I really like it. It just makes me feel like I've got a little something more without it looking like I've actually done anything to get that look. So hopefully you guys have found this useful. I will put the links again for everything that I use in the description box down below. I would appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. That would definitely help me out. And if you have any questions or comments or would like to see me do something that is beauty related for my YouTube channel, go ahead and leave those recommendations or suggestions down below. I hope you have a great day, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Thanks, bye.